RJB, and I'm back. It's been a couple of days, but I'm back for an amazing series of games between Qorak and HamburgerSasu. And we all know HamburgerSasu always delivers amazing matches. He is an amazing player. We all know he doesn't need an introduction whatsoever. But there is a new name here on the map, a name we haven't seen before, Qorak, with an exclamation mark there at the end. And the question of course is, who is this guy? Who is Qorak? I have somewhat of an idea who it might be, but I'm not sure. The only thing I have is, well, looking at their APM and EAPM. Most of the time, that little bit of insight into their APM and EAPM gives me just enough knowledge to somewhat determine who it is. But this time around, I have no idea. But I have a rough idea. It's not the same, it's a little bit different. But it is probably Brain God, or it is Kimki-san. And Kimki-san is one of the most underrated and underappreciated players on Korean Fastest, who, at times, is even more amazing to watch than HamburgerSasu himself. His peaks are extremely high. He can have amazing, insane performances. The question is, will he have one of those today here in this match? Or is HamburgerSasu just going to obliterate him completely and altogether? That's what we're here to find out. He's on the Protoss here on the top of the middle of the map. HamburgerSasu is on the middle right of the map, and he's already getting assaulted by a probe, but the probe there getting scared away. He's trying to go back into the fight. He goes in back to kill that probe, but the eggs are blocking it. Is he going to get... Oh, he's clipping into the hatchery. That's very unfortunate there for that probe. Fortunate for HamburgerSasu, because now that probe is not going to do all that much. The drone there is staying alive. Something there in front coming up. He's got a Zealot already on the way there, because he started off with a single gateway into a Nexus opening. And I'm sure HamburgerSasu was not expecting that single Zealot to be entering here, although it is being met by some safety Zerglings. You always make those just for safety's sake. He's going to try to catch that Zealot, but the Zealot is still almost on full HP, and he did a little damage there to the Zerglings. No, the Zealot has not hit a single Zergling yet. But the Zealot itself is still pretty healthy, though now is facing 6 in total. He tried to put another Zealot into the base there, but the Zealot is getting blocked out of the base there. So he pulled back to his own base, and the game is just going to progress very slowly. There's not much happening at the moment. Just two players aiming to macro up, get an economy up and running, and progress into the mid phase of this game. We've got a very quick tech here coming out from Qorak. A little bit of overmind there, but he's now able to spend those minerals on a couple more gateways. He's got 2 gas there on the top side, which gives him a couple of options, but we're just going to let it unfold. See where he's going to go with this build order. Because honestly, as I say oftentimes, there's too many options that he has, and it's too hard to just definitively say which one he is going for. You have a robo there out on the map. There's no buildings being put on the middle, so he's not going to go for an... Well, not that he can. He can try to get a pylon up here in the front, but because he only has 3 Zealots and there's about 6 Zerglings, HamburgerSasu has a realistic chance of sniping that probe, and because he has his Overlord here, he can of course see that probe enter the middle. There it is, it's entering the middle. HamburgerSasu of course is going to try to snipe it. He's already on it, he's already attacking the probe. Doesn't even give Qorak the time to respond, although the probe there is staying alive, gets protected by the Zealots, and now Pylon's coming up there in the front. That is some nice progress that's happening here. HamburgerSasu now with 20 drones. He's got the Hydralisk Den there on the way after making 3 hatcheries. He's got more drones there on the way, only on a single gas. So he wants to play this very, very tight and clean. He wants to spend just exactly the amount of minerals and gas that he needs to spend. He doesn't want to spend more than he has to. So these 2 creep colonies are just within range of those Sunkens, meaning these Zealots here cannot attack these 2 creep colonies because those Zealots will go down, and there's of course those Zerglings as well, which are pushing back against his attempt to build on the middle. There's a cannon there on the way, but I think HamburgerSasu will be able to cancel this from finishing, although the Overlord there hanging, which might go down soon. We have a Dragoon already out, and we've got a double Robo here back in the base. Qorak is playing this very, very bare bones. He's playing this very bare bones. One cannon there, one Dragoon. This here in the front is being taken down once again. The Sunken there almost up, almost finished. Pylon went down. Now the Zergers are taking down the cannons. Now we've got the Sunken there, but it's just outside of the range of the cannon. So it does look like Qorak has secured himself that mid-proxy build that he wants to put down here on the middle and produce from. We do have 2 Reavers on the way here from Qorak. We have a shuttle there as well. And there's no Hydralisks out on the map yet for HamburgerSasu. Dragoon now entered the middle. This is going to be interesting because whether those Hydralisks will be out there in time to intercept the shuttle that's going to be flying into his base very soon or not is a very interesting thing that we have to be keeping track of. Gonna put it there as selected, and we're gonna look here at these Hydras, which are going to completely ignore these structures on the middle and just go straight for the base. This is one of the most amazing smart moves I've ever seen in my life. Just ignoring this on the middle, which is now completely wasted minerals, and he is going in for an attack on the back door. And Qorak was not expecting this, but he does have 2 Reavers in the back. Those 2 Reavers there should be able to defend him from this restful attack there. HamburgerSasu tries to wriggle himself into that tight little corridor, gets the cannon, pulls back out. Reavers are still there back in the base. More Hydras are being built there and rallied to the front. So this is very, very nicely played for HamburgerSasu, but it looks like Qorak is going to come out on top here. HamburgerSasu tries to wriggle his way and micro his way out of there, but he loses almost all of his Hydras. And the situation no longer looking that great, although now he's getting control over the middle by denying those cannons on the middle by losing his Hydras to snipe the cannons. Qorak comes in from the top side there, though, scares his Hydras away. The Reavers now arriving on the scene as well. Both Reavers both still alive. Now the game is very tense, very close, and it could go either way. Can HamburgerSasu snipe the shuttle or snipe the Reavers, or will Qorak be able to keep those Reavers alive and wait for more reinforcements from the base to arrive? He only has 3 gateways at the moment. He's got more shuttles on the way. He's got Storm Upgrade also being researched, and he's got 2 Templars queued up. So Storm drops very soon on the way from Qorak. HamburgerSasu being very smart, putting his Hydras there on the bottom side of the map, just in case something is coming from the bottom side, or maybe just scouting the bottom side for structures. But he's got the Hydralisk there to intercept the shuttle, and he's getting side vision now with his Overlords as well. The game is not looking hot for... Actually, the game is not looking that good for HamburgerSasu now, because it does look like Qorak is pretty darn rich. He's got 52 probes there, and he's got a lot of structures in his base. And he's ready to enter, well, the next phase of income, where the income becomes so big that you just can keep spending your minerals non-stop. And he's pushing the front here, putting a lot of pressure on HamburgerSasu, who might not be ready for a massive frontal push. But the supply lead from Qorak is not that big yet. He's got level 1 weapon there on the way, soon to be finishing up, and a level 1 upgrade for weapons might just change the course of the game. Also going to change to red versus blue for the minimap. We've got the shuttle here on the bottom side. Will get spotted out by the Hydralisks. So he's got very good vision there on the bottom side. Let's just click off the vision for Qorak and see if HamburgerSasu is going to respond to it as he should be. There is Dragoons there on the bottom side because he spotted those Hydras with the shuttle. So he's going to clear those out first before he goes in. He's got a lot of Sunkens in the front. He's got 34 drones, and he's got Lurker Aspect also on the way. He's got those Hydras there positioned really nicely to intercept the shuttle. The shuttle comes in. Shuttle is getting... No! Let's intercept it. Gets a storm off, and that is, I think, already the end of the game. All it took was just a single storm that he missed. He didn't respond to it in time. And sometimes, honestly, that's all it takes to turn the game around on its head and end it. And he knows the game is over. He knows. Against a player like Qorak, he cannot afford to lose his drones that easily. Maybe a bit of a disappointing ending to what looked like a very exciting start of the game. Like HamburgerSasu going in with the sneak attack, going around the mid build there, circumventing the cannons, completely ignoring them, just going for the straight on counter attack. But because those Reavers had already finished for Qorak, Qorak didn't have any trouble defending against that attempt. So well played from Qorak, and I honestly also think well played from HamburgerSasu, but honestly, all it takes is getting storm dropped by a single storm, losing all your drones at a bad timing, and you end up losing the game. So yeah, that's game number 1. Just gonna update the score card just a little bit. So that means it's 1 win for Qorak, who is... Let me just find, like, right there. He's now got 1 win. That means we're going over to game number 2, and I hope game number 2 is going to be a little bit closer. That game looked great for a short period of time, but, you know, 1 versus 1 fastest map isn't always a beauty to behold. Sometimes it just ends abruptly within the blink of an eye. That's all it can take. The blink of an eye, and it's over. So game number 2 now loading up. We're looking at a Protoss versus Terran, with Qorak on the Protoss and HamburgerSasu, of course, on the Terran, because that is his main selling point, basically. He plays random, or well, not random, he plays Zerg or Terran against Protoss, and almost never plays Protoss himself. That is his product that he sells, basically, on his stream. The product that he sells on his stream is, well, not can, the product that he sells is that he can beat and will beat your Protoss with his Zerg or his Terran. That is the product he's selling on his stream, and people really seem to like it. And we also seem to like it because we keep coming back for more. We keep coming back for more HamburgerSasu because he manages to make Terran or Zerg look really strong against Protoss, which is something not a lot of top level players can do against other top level players. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and just wait and see what HamburgerSasu is going to do against Qorak, who in the last game displayed a very controlled and calm and smart Protoss, and I expect him to be playing a likewise smart Protoss this time around. I expect him to know exactly what he's doing and to have a solid plan. Starts off with a +1 Nexus, which is always an indicator that he knows what he is doing. Because the +1 Nexus build order seems to be the strongest build order for Protoss. And he's going for a block there, well, a choke in the front as well. So we're going to not see much action yet. It's going to take maybe 5 minutes again, maybe 6 minutes, before we really see Qorak taking off against HamburgerSasu. But HamburgerSasu might just try to break in through the front, as he most of the times tries to do. He likes to try and break through the front of the Protoss. Not always successful. Sometimes it means he is going to die to the first counterattack or the first attack, following after his attempt to stim through the cannons in the front with his Marines and his medics. Sometimes it gets him great results and wins him a game. Sometimes losing those units means he loses the game. So it can be either of those two. But that is only in a scenario where HamburgerSasu goes for that frontal break. And personally, it would be fun to see him go for it. But I would really like to see him succeed, instead of, you know, digging his own grave. Cybercore there coming up from Qorak, and we've got 2 simulators there finishing up. This is exactly according to the book. But this probe here has got me worried, because usually people stay on 1 gateway. But it looks like he's going for a second one. Also, this probe is up to something. It is up to something, but I'm not sure what it's up to. It's scouting this location for whatever reason, but I'm not sure what reason it is. Pylon there. He's going to build a proxy base here. Definitely looks like this is Kim-Ki-san. That's just just a wild guess. I think this is Kim-Ki-san, because this is a build order I've seen Kim-Ki-san do a couple times before in the past, where he goes for a proxy base, or well, not really a proxy base, for proxy gateways or proxy robotics, to keep the robotics out of the vision of the Terran, in case the Terran gets their scan up and running and starts scanning the base of the Protoss to see what's up. And he's trying to keep that information away from HamburgerSasu there. A little fight here happening on the middle, but not really noteworthy. Nothing is gonna come of this. The Zealot there is staying alive, but he's gonna die very soon. He got scared away. Quick reaction there from Qorak, keeping that Zealot safe, though he lost a lot of HP on the Zealot. But HamburgerSasu does appear to be Well, he's not going to try to break through the front. Like, too much time has already passed, and he's only just now starting his first academy. So, there's no way he's going to try to break through. That's just never gonna happen. And also, maybe I'm going to change my mind. Maybe this is Brain God. Because I don't see anyone else, except Brain God, go for this build order where he goes for 3 gateways with Dragoons. After he starts off with a +1 Nexus. And if this is truly Brain God, we are in for some amazing stuff right here. But I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I do have a feeling that it might be him. Because this is a very characteristically Brain God build order, where he doesn't make more cannons in the front, he makes Dragoons, and then he somehow makes things happen that shouldn't be possible. He's going to chase down those Marines. HamburgerSasu pulling back to his own base, but because he doesn't have stim upgrade yet, this is going to hurt him a lot. Does he have a bunker there coming up in the front? There's a bunker coming up in the front. And the bunker is going to keep those Dragoons away from the base. But Dragoons have Dragoon range, I think. He's on the chase. There's arriving on the scene very soon. We've got the shuttle finished here and a Reaver on the way as well. Reaver is going to, of course, try to support the frontal attack here. But first, Dragoons arriving on the scene there. It's going to just stay out of range of those bunkers. This is a very delayed Dragoon frontal push that we don't often see. But this is a real, typical Brain God build order. Also going to turn down the sound a little bit because I think it's a little bit too high. More Dragoons arriving on the scene. Reaver is almost finished. And he's going to try to break through very, very soon. First, going to have to repair the bunkers and get that Marine range upgrade finished. I think he canceled his stim upgrade because he knows that he cannot use stim against those Dragoons. He needs range to keep those Dragoons away from the bunker, but the bunker there goes down because he doesn't have enough SCVs here on the scene to help with repairing. Tank there arriving on the scene as well. He almost has siege mode, and once he has siege mode, he can scare those tanks away. Reaver there with the shuttle has finished. He's going to fly over into HamburgerSasu's base now. Dragoons there balling up in the front. He's either going to go for a land here, shoot on the tank, and then attack with Dragoons in the front as well, but I don't want to call anything too early. Stormgate also on the way. This build order is looking magnificently complicated so far, and I'm really liking it. This is very different from all the other Protosses we see, but is it gonna work? Second Reaver there finishing up at 6:45, enters the shuttle, is gonna put everything into position and try to break through the front. There's no depots here, but well, you need depots against Zealots, not against Dragoons. So the depots there are going to come up in the end regardless. But I really do think that he cancels it just in time because he notices that the units have arrived. He has the raids, but the raids cannot attack the shuttle because there's Dragoons. And that is why he went for Dragoons. Now he can keep microing that shuttle with the Reavers and protect it with the Dragoons against those raids. But he knows he cannot break through because there's 2 tanks and a couple of bunkers with units he cannot break through. But now we've got Templars on the scene as well, ready to start storming and breaking down this frontal choke point here that HamburgerSasu built himself to keep Qorak out. He's... oh, there come the... oh, the raids are overshooting, although now he sees, he turns around, kills the shuttle. But the shuttle is empty, it appears. I think the shuttle is definitely empty. Oh, there's the shuttle with the Reavers. He turned them back to his base. And while HamburgerSasu was on the way to kill this shuttle that he saw with the scan, he met this proxy base and tried to kill it, but there's the cannon there, stays alive, protects everything. Raids get scared away back to base, and HamburgerSasu now entering the next phase of his build and strategy that he's playing in. We've gone from the mid game and we're entering late game. It's a very early late game, but 8 minutes in, late game is starting. Because this is going to be too hard to break into for Qorak. Qorak is not gonna get in here. Unless, of course, he gets beautiful storms off on those tanks that are behind this line, but more tanks are finishing and they're in the back, Marines in the back as well. You can always move those Marines to the front. We haven't seen a single drop yet from Qorak because he tried to go for a really fancy frontal break attack. But if the frontal break attack doesn't work, he's looking at a Terran that is ahead of him in supply, because going for Dragoons is quite expensive. It delays your drops as well, and you cannot go all in on drops at this point. because defending against drops is going to be pretty easy for the Terran, who has now a lot of raids ready to defend against those shuttles. Units are still bottling up in the front. He doesn't have any upgrades finished yet, but he has them on the way. Level 1 attack, level 1 air armor as well, and HamburgerSasu already has 2 armories, so he's going to get those mech upgrades up and running very soon. And he will be ahead in upgrades of Qorak in the near future. And yeah, this proxy base there gets taken down, although now a Corsair spawns. He splits up his raids just in time to dodge the attack, the damage on all the raids, but Dragoons arriving on the scene, ready to scare those raids away. And so far, only the cannon here has gone down, but the Dragoons there are scaring them away, protecting everything just in time. More gateways finishing up. He's adding on more robos back at home, because he knows that that robo base there that he built on the side is not going to hold up for long. We've got a drop there in the base from HamburgerSasu, but HamburgerSasu took it down with the Marines very easily. He spotted out the shuttles. Nothing gets stormed to death. And the game is starting to look more difficult for Qorak as the game goes on. He's preparing himself. He is preparing himself for the future. Not sure what he's going to do here though, but he really has to start doing something. Giving HamburgerSasu time to get big and comfortable is probably the last thing that you want to do. Also, I'm starting to doubt whether this is BrainGod, because I think BrainGod would probably play this differently. But just by the fact that this build order looks difficult and complicated, perhaps too difficult for even Qorak himself to pull off and win with, I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out. We've got more tanks arriving there in the front, so this is getting progressively harder to break into. He does have observers here to spot out raids with cloak, perhaps, or maybe just get vision past the hills. Pretty smart thing to do. This is what he can see. He sees 2 tanks there. He cannot see the units behind those tanks, so he doesn't know that these other 5 tanks are there as well. But given that he's got a 200 mass here on the middle, ready to attack, ready to strike, Hamburger might just be getting caught off guard. Because his tank count is low, but his supply count is pretty darn high. Comes in with a drop there, snipes the first drop. Shuttles are getting unloaded there on top of the tanks though, and now he's going to break through the front, although the units are not really unloading. He's not unloading, there was nothing in there. There was nothing in it, it was just a distraction shuttle, so he wanted to throw away, so it broke through the front. Lost a lot of units there though, but he broke through nonetheless. He's losing observers there as well. Marines are coming from the back to the front, ready to defend. Storms didn't really do all that much. He still has 1 storm left there, almost 2. But the raids are staying away, knowing that the storm on the raids will probably kill the raids very quick, very soon. But HamburgerSasu holds this one without too much effort. Another wave of units has spawned and is ready here to go in, but he's deciding against it. He's deciding against committing to the attack for now. He wants to just ball up, regroup, and get his complete mass or his unit composition in such a way that he can go in through the front. But HamburgerSasu has a lot of tanks this time around. He's got 11 finished up here in the front. And as he keeps adding buildings, it's going to be more difficult to get on top of those tanks in between those factories, as it's kind of a choke point where units start blocking your own units when you're trying to kill those tanks, but they cannot reach them. So this is always a very smart configuration. Don't leave too much space, don't leave too little. Make it hard for the opponent to get in there. And HamburgerSasu is doing exactly that. You've got now 4 armories. Every single upgrade that he wants is on the way. Got airship, weapon, and armor on the way as well. Mines are also being researched just in case. Vulture speed as well, because, well, he's making vultures. You don't often see them on the fastest map, but he's making vultures. He scanned for the shuttles, but he is too late. The shuttles have already left the base, and they're now going to enter the base before the raids arrive on the scene. He's gonna... Well, he's not. He's gonna take a little bit too long. He's dancing. He's baiting the raids towards the Dragoons. He's trying to storm them, but he dodges the storm, and he storms his own observer. Oh, well, it can happen to the best, it appears. Can happen to the best. Qorak almost ready to go in for the attack. He's waiting a little bit longer, finishing up his base there in the back. Getting another Stargate there for more Corsairs. He's got everything ready to go. But he wants to build cannons in the middle first. Now I'm not sure if giving HamburgerSasu any more time than he's already been given is the best course of action. Also, it doesn't look like Qorak is ever going to hit a single drop here. This looks really hard to drop, difficult to drop. Raids there, of course, still able to dance back and forth and intercept him so quick. Already on level 2 weapon upgrade for those raids. That's pretty quick for air upgrades. Meaning those shuttles are going to go down so easily and quick. He's pulling back his units because HamburgerSasu is pushing forward with his tanks and his mass. His vultures there on the scene as well. Marines ready to be thrown away because he has to start replacing them with tanks and vultures, but might as well just use them to their maximum effectiveness in the meantime. He really wants to attack, but he knows that he can't. He knows that he can't. He really has to... Oh no, raids are coming in there to snipe the shuttles, although there's observers there as well. Gets 1, gets 2, gets number 3. Doesn't get number 3, gets number 3, gets number 4 there as well. He gets 4 of the shuttles out of the 7. That pretty much ruined that drop attempt that he was planning on throwing out very soon. Didn't get a chance to. Now at least he can start replacing those shuttles and the units in them with more units. But the game is not looking all that great for Qorak. Qorak is having a really bad game here. Just nothing is working. He tried to go for an all-in early game strategy where he tried to break in through the front. But HamburgerSasu just held it so easily because he went for a very quick factory, delaying his academy and delaying stim upgrade and range upgrade for the academy. Most of the times people get it before, but he goes in now. Qorak goes in for the attack. HamburgerSasu's units are pretty damn spread out, but his units are bottling up and blocking each other. Now he's unloading units on top of the tanks as well, but they went down very quick. Tanks that are still alive. Now the Zealots are breaking through, getting on top of the tanks with Goliaths. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Dragoons there in the front, tearing through the Goliaths. He still has some storms there. He has some units there. The red, nope, those are empty. Observer there gets taken down, starting to get forward there, getting stormed on the tanks off, and he's the Goliaths there in the back as well, ready to storm them down to death. Well, Dragoons there not doing all too hot against those level 2 upgrades on the mech here. The HamburgerSasu, the upgrades are amazing. The Templars there in the front going down with energy. More units coming. Oh, probes coming in from the base. He wants to replace his probes. But yeah, this looks like a really difficult game here for Qorak. He had plans. We saw those plans, but sometimes trying to be too complicated and complex with your build order, like he was trying to be, doesn't really always work. The idea with Dragoons was great though, but he did 0 damage to HamburgerSasu during this entire match. Now I don't want to call it too early, but I really do feel that HamburgerSasu is just going to very easily push Qorak back to his base. Qorak is trying his hardest, massing up as quick as he can, trying to get as many units as he can. Go for the counter-attack, but this might be too late. Another drop there, ready to go. Starts loading it up. He has to unload on top of those tanks and Goliaths if he wants to make this work. Also, Mass Valkyries here already finished up, ready to snipe those shuttles. Looks like HamburgerSasu is playing perfect here. It's not flashy this time around, but he's playing perfect and he's playing with a lot of control. Valkyries coming in there to take down the shuttles. Shuttles can take it down before they unload anything at all. Zealots are getting on top of the tanks. The tanks are getting pushed back. The lights are being micro backwards as well. But, ooh, this time around, it might actually be too many units for these tanks to fight into. More tanks coming from the base. Goliaths as well, entering the fight here in the front. Can he do it? Can he do it? Storms coming down on those units, but the storms don't seem to be enough. So all the units get taken down there within the flash of an eye. And it looks like Qorak has to go back to the drawing board. He maybe needs carriers here, but there's already Goliaths and Valkyries out, and there's not enough time to switch over into carriers. So he's kind of forced to stick and stay with gateway units. He's pretty low on gas, only has 5 assimilators there. He has a third nexus here to fill out those last 2 gas spots. He can also build a proxy base there, but he doesn't have enough time. That's basically the gist of it. He doesn't have enough time to get everything that he needs. HamburgerSasu became too big, too quick, without ever taking damage, and if you never deal damage to a Terran within the first 15 minutes, Terran is too difficult to kill. Too difficult. Like, if you try and you get no results, the game is gonna look pretty damn difficult. Cannons coming down on the middle. Units entering the middle once again. He's got Corsairs hunting for units once again. He's finding himself a lot of Corsairs there on the side, but the Corsairs are too few in number to fight against the Valkyries. The Valkyries are going to come out on top, of course. Units coming in through the front. He's trying to find a way in with the shuttles, but he's flying straight into Goliaths. He's unloading the top of the units there, though. Beautiful attack there, and this might actually work out really, really well. Because HamburgerSasu had a lot of tanks that he had loaded up into dropships, so now he's unloading them behind the hill. And from behind the hill, they're going to completely mess up this attack, because now all those Dragoons and Zealots are coming back to walk around, and it looks like Qorak knows that this game is over. Those tanks behind the hill just completely screwed up this frontal attack. They were never supposed to be unloaded here past the hill, but you know, if they're there, you might as well just unload, stop the attack from happening there in the front, and defend your base. And throwing away all your units and facing mass dropships there ready to enter your base pretty much means that it's a done game. Well, we can no longer see his base because, well, observer mode is absolutely garbage. Like, it's just all gone. His entire base is gone. So yeah, Qorak tried. It looked pretty at the start, but out of, well, the moment HamburgerSasu defended that first attack, it just looked like Qorak never got anything done. And sometimes it just happens. Sometimes when you're Protoss, you just can't get anything done. The Terran just plays too perfect. And that's what happened here. HamburgerSasu played defense a little bit too perfect. There was just nothing Qorak could do with the build order that he chose that could at that point succeed. HamburgerSasu would have to make a huge mistake. And he didn't make any of those huge mistakes. That means the score now between these two players is 1 win for both. We're going over to game number 3, which is for today the final match between these two players. Who's gonna win, who's gonna lose? It can go either way. Both players have a single win. HamburgerSasu so far has looked stronger than Qorak did, so I'm kind of thinking that this is going towards HamburgerSasu. He's playing very good, very smart, very precise, didn't make a single mistake. And Qorak perhaps went for a build order, which I've already mentioned was a little bit too difficult to execute. But I want to give him another chance. I am giving Qorak another chance. I believe in his skills, but whether he has those skills, that is the real question. He's back on the Protoss here, and we've got HamburgerSasu back on the green Terran here on the middle left against Qorak on the bottom right of the map. What will it be today? I'm going to speed up the first 2 minutes just so we can cut down on time a little bit, because nobody wants to look at the first 2 minutes. Those are boring. Although sometimes they do give us a lot of information about what the players are gonna do. And it's the same build order as, well, not the same build order, but the same opening as last game for both players. Got cannons coming down in the front. He's placing them really nicely so they cover both of those little sides there. We've got scouting going on from both players. SCV arriving on the scene. Marines also already finished up and on the map, and they're gonna find these cannons after they finish, actually. These cannons are gonna finish before the Marines arrive there, so he's gonna send those Marines here to intercept the probe. Probe's gonna die. It will be stuck in there. Maybe he's gonna turn it around. Very quick reaction there from Qorak. Probe there stays alive. He's gonna try to micro it out of there, because it might just be worth keeping that probe alive, although it's a lot of effort for 50 minerals. One Marine there still on the chase. One Marine there returning back to the choke point to keep it out. Very smart for HamburgerSasu. SV there still alive, getting information. We've got 2 assimilators there and a cyber core, but the cyber core is misplaced just a tiny bit. I hope that Qorak doesn't get put off by buildings slightly misplaced. So HamburgerSasu this time around going for a fast academy. Last game he went for 2 command centers into an academy. Well, to be more exact, 2 command centers into a factory, into an academy. But this game, he's going for an academy before a command center, which means he's going to try to break in through the front. But as we saw from last game, Qorak has a pretty good build order that counters such attempts. Last game, he had 4 Dragoons to help him. In this game, he only has a couple of Zealots, and we have a Citadel of Adun on the way, and we've got 1 Robo in the way there on the front. Now, because there's no second Robo coming out from Qorak, he's gonna go for a Templar's Archive. While he's making a gateway there in the front first, because he wants more cannons as well. He wants to keep those Marines away. He does not want those Marines to succeed in their attempt to break through the front. Qorak knows. And HamburgerSasu is trying to break. He's trying to set up an attack to break through. He's got the medics there, Marines there in the back as well. But the cannons have all finished. And 2 Zealots there can support as well. He's going to have to take the gateway down first. Because if he tries to attack now, these units are going to be clumped up into very inconvenient little groups, split up, unable to get on top of those cannons in the back because this is blocking. So once this gateway goes down, he's going to stim in with all his might and try to break through, but there's 5 cannons. And he saw that the 5th cannon there in the back finished up, and there's even a number... I wanted to say number 6 on the way, but nope. So because we went for the very early Templar's Archive without a support bay, we're going to be seeing Dark Templars out soon. There's cannon number 6. Shuttle there, finished. We have no support bay still. So it's just going to be Dark Templars. 4 of them in total, maybe even 5, maybe even 6. Time to go for the counter-attack. He's going to completely ignore those Marines here in the front and just fly straight to the base, where an engineering bay is on the way. We've got a scan on the way as well. We've got 2 more barracks, but we have no units at all back at home. There's no units, not a single one. The engineering bay won't finish in time. This will arrive before the engineering bay finishes, which means we only have a scan to detect the Dark Templars, and this is going to be absolutely brutal. He's retreating back to base because he knows that this is around the time that either Reavers or Dark Templars can spawn, but these Dark Templars were very, very quick from Qorak, and he's running straight for the SCVs. He's going straight for the... Oh, he gave it away. He's going straight for the SCVs now. He's got 2 Dark Templars, which means 2 SCVs go down every single hit, and look at him tearing through those SCVs so stupidly fast. Only has 6 of them left scans. Both Dark Templars go down, but there's only 6 SCVs left there on the minerals, and this game is looking absolutely disastrous at the moment. This is looking like the hardest situation to come back from for HamburgerSasu. We've got more Dark Temples being loaded into the base. There's 3 of them in total. All the units have moved to the front there though, so we cannot defend to this, cannot react to this in time. Well, scan number 2 there is on the way, but the turret there goes down before the Marines arrive on the scene, and it goes down. It is gone. 1 Dark Templar went down, but now the Marines are going to go down to those Dark Templars. He needs scan energy very, very quick. This one is almost finished. He's going to try to run in, but the Dark Templars are splitting up. The Templars are splitting up. He is tracking it in the distortion. He's tracking the distortion. He finds the Dark Templar, but now there's 1 more Dark Templar alive here on the top side. He does not have energy yet, but he's 4 energy away. He's building a turret there as well. He goes in, surrounds it, and blocks it in that little, tiny little corner there, and it goes down. So in the end, HamburgerSasu lost, I think, about 8 or 10 SCVs there to those 2 Dark Templars, which is really, really bad. That is a lot of damage that early on into the game. But he's trying to recover now in 25 SCVs. Another drop there with Templars and Zealots arriving on the scene this time around. Who's going for the storm drop there, and there's nothing in between it yet. No vision on the hill either, so he doesn't know it's coming. We've got another drop there coming in on the front. This one is going to be a distraction. He's going to distract with this frontal drop. This is so smart. Although it's kind of an attack. But in comes the real drop. Ooh, it gets spotted out. HamburgerSasu with the insane reactions. He spotted that out before he could even unload a single Templar. And he prevents the damage to his economy. But now another drop there coming in from the top side. The distraction from the front. Coming in from the top. Although he's waiting for that other shuttle to arrive. He's just keeping this here in the base. He can spot it all out. Can HamburgerSasu respond to this in time? He sees the shuttle. Shuttle is going in. Turns back around. Tries to go for a Reaver Micro, but the Scarab doesn't shoot. Although now the other drop is coming in from the bottom side there. And the storm comes down. The storms. He storms. And he kills, I think, about another 12 SCVs there. And that is a beautiful setup there from Qorak. He is really showing off that this is his best Protoss build order. He is really doing great. This is beautiful. It's really smart to just go for a nice little distraction. He hasn't done any damage with this shuttle and the Reaver in it at all this entire game. but he's managed to distract HamburgerSasu just enough to make that other drop work. Really well played there, really smart, really difficult to execute as well, because you cannot make a single mistake as the Protoss. You cannot make a single mistake. The execution has to be absolutely perfect. You have to have some great multitasking and great control to make it work. And his macro is also really, really good. He's going straight for carriers. This definitely looks really intimidating. He has 3 Nexi, he's got 7, 8 assimilators there, and he's got all carriers soon on the way. And I don't think HamburgerSasu will be ready for these carriers anytime soon. But he still has some time to recover. He still has some time to prepare himself for his carriers. But at the moment, things aren't looking pretty, because he doesn't even have a starport yet. He doesn't even have an armory yet, but he does have the scans. And now units are loading on the bottom side. Reaver there gets almost taken down immediately, although he takes down the tank there behind the depots really quick. Now storms are coming in on every single marine, but he's microing all of his marines so well that none of the storms really kill that many marines, and in the end it looks like HamburgerSasu comes out on top there, losing only about 10 units to what looked to be a massive drop with a lot of storms that could have just sealed the deal. He could have killed way more. But micro there for HamburgerSasu does the trick, keeps his units alive. Now he's going for the counterattack? Nope, he's not. He's not. What is he? Why is he killing those bunkers here in the... He's going for the counterattack. This absolute insane man. He's going for the counterattack, expecting to be just in time before the carriers finish. But this might just be a very, very wrong move here from HamburgerSasu, because there's so many Templars to storm those marines, and most of HamburgerSasu's army is in fact marines. He still has some units there back in the base to intercept those shuttles. Shuttles there coming, well, a single shuttle there coming from the bottom side under the protection of a Corsair, but will this land? Ooh, he turns around, he gets spotted out. Tanks have set up there in the front. He's got dark turrets there against Dark Templars and against carriers as well. We still have no carriers on the way from Qorak. He's still making Zealots, Templars, and Reavers to defend, and I do think he has what it takes to defend. There's 6 Templars, and those 6 Templars are pretty darn strong. And he's got Zealots on the way as well, and Reaver Shuttle Micro is also amazing against tanks and Marines. But HamburgerSasu knows that he has to try, knows that he has to go for it, he knows that he has the chance, even though he lost his workers to Dark Templars and the Storm. He's still trying to do this. This is probably the most insane push from a person I've ever seen. You would never ever see anyone else do this when they just got storm dropped and attacked by Dark Templars. You would never see anyone do this, but they... Ooh, this is so smart from Qorak, putting the Templars there up on the high ground to reduce the reaction time from HamburgerSasu, and HamburgerSasu just lost almost his entire army there. That was so smart. And now he's coming in with a frontal attack here as well. He's got Reavers there inside those shuttles as well. He's... Ooh, Templar. He snipes the Templar before the Templar can storm, but Reavers also got shut down immediately. Drop there comes out at the same time as well. Storms on top of the SCVs there and loses all the SCVs because he was busy fighting in the base. And it looks like Qorak has superior multitasking as he storms and defends at the same time. This man is absolutely insane. He killed even more units there. Not sure how he does it, but he somehow... He's still here in the process of losing his base though, but more Templars, more Zealots are spawning. HamburgerSasu can pretty much only make Marines and maybe 2 or 3 tanks. Ooh, another Storm that came down on the Marines. Now he has no units left in his base to defend against Storm drops, but there's at the moment no Storm drop on the way because he lost all of his Robos, but there's gateways being built there on the top of the map because Qorak has too many minerals. He's building an extra base just in case he needs it to attack from the back. More Dark Templars here though, he's still pushing forward. There's like a 100 supply difference. But even though there's a 100 supply difference, HamburgerSasu is still pushing forward. He's still pushing forward, he has to. If he decides to pull back now, the game is over. If he decides to commit, he might just have a very small chance to win. As long as he doesn't lose too many of his units, there is... We've got 4 Storms there in the back, a couple of Zealots getting dragged into the fight Ooh, he's got 6 Templars in total. So 6 Templars, and he's building a base on the top side very, very rapidly. He's also building mass robos here just in case he needs those. Because he's losing gateways in his own base, and he's using units in his own base as well. We've got a shuttle drop there leaving the base, ready to go in. We've got units moving out all over the map, ready to just scout and look for extra bases. HamburgerSasu is playing like a madman. Although units coming in there, storms are doing so much damage on the Marines and the tanks. It looks like he's going to clear out his entire frontal section. Oh no, he's not. Is he? Is HamburgerSasu going to win this? HamburgerSasu comes out on top there. He wins the fight, but he lost almost all of his tanks, almost all of his Marines, and we've got a drop there coming in for the top side. There's nothing in between. There's nothing in between. HamburgerSasu dodges the storm there, loses no SCVs whatsoever, but there's still one more storm there left on the High Templar. He goes in ready to kill the High Templar, kills. The second storm also misses, and now he's going in to kill this top base there, but Zealots are spawning just at the same time as well. He's stimming the Marines there, ready to take down this entire base, but more units have spawned. We've got a fight going on here as well. He's pulling back Marines back to the top side because he wants to kill this proxy base if he still wants to win. Although now he's going back to defend this bunker line. Marines are being microed backwards. They have level 1 attack? Level 1 attack. Zealots are on level 1 shields. So no attack, no armor, which might just really backfire, but he is pushing HamburgerSasu back. Zealots are pushing forward very slowly getting results little by little, killing most of the tanks there. Storm there also moving forward. Yeah, he cleared out this little foothold that HamburgerSasu had in Qorak's base. Is almost completely gone, but more Marines coming from the back. He killed all the pylons here on this side to stop the production, but there's Dark Templars now as well, which are stopping HamburgerSasu from continuing with killing that base. We've now got SV there trying to build a turret, but it goes down. The fight here has completely flipped on its head, and HamburgerSasu is retreating back to his base. It was very bold, it was very courageous. He tried to do something that was almost impossible, and he still managed to keep Qorak contained in his base, despite being 100 supply down on Qorak. But now he is finally returned to his base, where he's facing a drop, facing a massive frontal attack from a massive army. And I'm not sure if he can survive this, because those Templars here in the mix are gonna be doing so. Oh, drop comes in there. Oh, it's a Corsair. It's just a Corsair. But a real drop here coming in for the bottom side there. So there's two little things going on there. The fight in the front is completely failing from Qorak, but the storm drop is coming in from the bottom side of the base. He storms. SCVs are running away, but most SCVs are going down to the double storm, and that is, it looks like he got almost everything. Went down from 56 SCVs there to 26, so he lost half. And he killed a lot of units in the front as well as the Dark Templar. They're still killing stuff, and he hasn't used the scan there to detect the Dark Templar. He scans eventually in the end and kills both Dark Templars. But this game is completely going back and forth. HamburgerSasu is doing stuff that shouldn't be possible. But so is Qorak. Qorak is also playing this really well. Dark Templar once again enters and forces the scan. Doesn't take anything down. But Qorak just has to rinse and repeat. Keep making units, keep sending them in, and keep attacking. That is exactly what he is going to do. He's not going to... Ooh, there's a Dark Archon here as well, ready to go for the mind control. Although he doesn't need it, I don't think he needs it at all. There's nothing to mind control here on the side though. Nothing to mind control. These units are balling up there in the front. We have some Marines there on the side, scouting, finding stuff to kill, getting information. We've got a drop there in the front, ready to be loaded up. There's a Templar on the scene. Templar might go for the storms on the tanks, or it might enter the shuttle. The mass Dark Templars are coming in. All he has to do is kill this turret, but he isn't getting on top of the turret. He's still killing stuff in the front though, but he's losing so many of his units in the process as well. Although now he's entering the base. This is looking really bad for HamburgerSasu. Storms coming down on the tanks. Storms coming down on the tanks. Almost just enough to kill them. And Marines coming from the back to the front, but there's a lot of energy on these Templars here. With only this single Templar's energy. Storms 1, misses the storm. Storms number 2, misses the storm. Well, it gets dodged by HamburgerSasu, but now we're looking at Zealous Dark Templars entering the front, ready to kill these Marines. And the Marines are not that strong against so many units coming in continuously. Dark Templars here as well. Dark Templars are getting... Ooh, Dark Templars are killing so many Marines. This might just be the game. This might just be the game. This is the game. HamburgerSasu leaves the game. Doesn't call the GG. That was a very, very close race. That was a very, very close race, and Qorak played that really impressively well. The way he managed to juggle separate drops to distract and play with HamburgerSasu and make HamburgerSasu make a mistake was really, really nice to see. But HamburgerSasu trying to go for the counter attack and pushing Qorak into a corner successfully. Eventually he did get broken though, that contain got broken, but I haven't ever seen someone attempt that while being down by so many workers, being so poor, and being behind by so much supply. So that was really, really nice to see. But in the end, HamburgerSasu loses the game, and Qorak comes out on top. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But it most certainly was a deserved win for Qorak. He wins the series 2-1, and HamburgerSasu loses it, although HamburgerSasu didn't play Protoss a single time. So the end result might have been different had HamburgerSasu played Protoss in this final game. But he wanted Terran against Protoss, so that's completely understandable. It was his own choice to go for Terran. So yeah, that was a nice game. So thanks for watching. Hope to be seeing you back next time around for another video, probably with HamburgerSasu again or Qorak, because I've got more Qorak replays. Although all Qorak replays are against HamburgerSasu, so it would just be a Qorak against HamburgerSasu set again. But I think I'm going to save that for the future, like a couple of weeks from now, so we can see the rematch between these two players, which I have. I have a rematch between these two players, played on the exact same day. So that should be a lot of fun. Can HamburgerSasu beat Qorak, or is Qorak too strong for HamburgerSasu? Just have to wait and see what's going to happen in the future. Well, thanks for watching. I've said it like 5 times already, and goodbye.